which I made in larger print because I'm getting older. And, but I also want to add, she currently works, along with Felicia, for the Rochester City School District at Edison Tech.
Yes.
And Miss Johnson, otherwise known as Gail, we can call her Gail, she said, is an English language arts teacher. And she also is through Pathways in Technology program and an adjunct professor at Monroe Community College. Her pastel work is an exploration of color and its ability to evoke emotion. I don't want to stand in your way.
It's okay. I can see.
I thought you were going to be interpreting. Ah,
He is.
She is constantly inspired by the vibrant hues in nature and how light interacts with these colors to create a sense of movement and energy. Using vibrant, bold colors, she strives to capture this energy and bring it to life in art. With pastel paintings, Gail wants to create a sense of wonder in the viewer and transport them to a place of joy, beauty, and color. Her art reminds people of the beauty around them and prompts them to see color in a new way. Her process begins with the selection of colors that she finds striking. And then she sometimes layers and blends these colors to create depth and movement. The pastel medium allows for a unique blending of colors, which is a key aspect of her work. Gail's goal is to create artwork that is not only pleasing to the eye, but also evokes emotion, inspiring the viewer to see the world differently. Thank you for joining us, Gail.
Thank you for having me. And I want to thank Jane because she saw me at an art show and she invited me, so thank you very much. Okay, I do have a presentation.
You do. Sorry, I'm sleeping on the job.
It's okay. You're not fired just yet.
Yeah, well,
The icebreaker.
You will never be fired. You should know better. You don't fire volunteers, honey.
that's right.
Yes, you
Next slide.
Just
Okay, so for the icebreaker, I want to get everyone engaged. Name a piece of art that influenced your life or style of art. Was it a drawing, a painting, a song, a play, etc.? And I'll just tell you about some of the artists that influenced me. I like Jacob Lawrence. He does a lot of abstract and a lot of just lines. I like Romero Bearden because he does collages, and I've started out with just pastels, but I moved into the collage phase some. And then I also like Modigliani. I like the elongated necks that he does in his particular art. So what are some of the artists that you like, or what influenced you?
Salvador Dali, and the melting clock.
Yes. Okay. What medium do you use?
Watercolor.
Watercolor. Okay. Watercolor. Anyone else?
Van Gogh, Starry Night, one of my favorites, and also the irises.
Yes. Van Gogh.
You have to go along with Cézanne, Van Gogh, the Impressionists when I was young, you know, discovering them. And I think what has stayed with me through different phases of art that I took from them is their use of, I love color. I just love color and light. And, you know, that is something I feel passionate about. And there are other artists, I mean, in today's world, you know, we go online and you know, put in what you're interested in, which to me is mixed media collage these days. And you put that in, and there's just such a wealth of people who share their work, and we learn from them and enjoy them. I couldn't begin to remember all the names, but yeah.
I don't know if you know Biza Butler. She does quilting, and she uses, oh, isn't she? Oh, beautiful colors. Textures. Yes. Anyone else?
Monet.
Who?
I'm just saying they're all landing in precious.
Yeah.
To me, it's Gauguin.
It's art.
Oh, okay.
cancel it. He's a
Photographer.
Yeah.
George
anything.
O'Keefe.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah.
They have a video on YouTube about her life.
I would say Matisse and later Keith Haring.
Okay, I know Matisse, I don't know there. Anyone else?
Picasso,
Oh.
because of the gamut of his work, from
Yes.
very conventional, huge, to very
And the
unconventional.
abstract, yeah.
The fact that he was able to break through on his own and bring a whole other perspective to life.
Oh, and there's another one too that I like a lot. He does graffiti work. Oh, just slipped my mind.
It'll be back.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Oh, but anyway, I love his work too. But if it comes back to me, I'll just throw out his
In
name.
the city or no? Here? Or somewhere else?
No, he passed away at 28, from overdrugs.
Yeah.
And he worked a lot with Andy Warhol. Oh, I can't think of his
I'm
name.
looking right at his face right now.
Yeah, and Louis Vuitton owns a lot of his work.
It's okay. Keep going.
It'll come to you at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Call me.
Wake you right out of sleep.
Oh, boy, I forgot. Okay, next slide, please. Okay, so a little bio about me. I am an English teacher. I've been teaching for like 15 years at various schools in the Rochester City School District. I'm also an adjunct professor. I've been there for like 19 years teaching. I've been teaching in the IT department because I graduated from RIT and I went back for a master's in IT because I was working at Eastman Coating Company as an analyst, and then I got laid off after 25 years. But I could see the writing on the wall because people were getting laid off around me, so I went into teaching. So I went back to Nazareth and then back to the U of R and got my master's at both of those colleges. And then I started to paint in 2018. I always thought I wanted to be an artist, but then growing up in the 70s, you know, graduating from high school, my mom was saying, get a practical job, get something you can make money. And so I went into business and then into the IT profession. So I had to like forgo any artwork to make a living. And I don't regret it though. I don't regret it.
Next.
Okay, she already talked to you about how I do my art, how I want to bring joy to people. And I notice that when I'm at art shows, sometimes the men will walk by because they're like at art show, and I don't think they really want to be there, but they're with their girlfriends or their wives. But when they see my art, they start to smile. And then they come over and they talk to me about my art. And I was at the last art show, Artist Row, a couple Sundays ago. And a couple guys came over and they said, I'm gonna go back and get my wife. I want her to see your artwork. So they came over and they did purchase a couple pieces too. So I like when I see men smile at my artwork. I know the women are gonna smile a lot of time, but the men, I really look for them to come over and say something. Now these are some of the supplies that I use when I work. I don't use the gloves too much anymore. I use something like this. And I always, with Pastel, because some of them are toxic, I always have a mask on when I work. And I use these little fingertips. I go through a lot of these because I don't want to like smear my colors. So
Where do you get them?
Oh, I got them off the internet.
And what are they called on the internet?
Finger cots.
Finger what?
Finger cots. Oh, I think it's C-O-T-S. Finger.
Finger.
You don't know
Yeah, they
one
use
of
them in
them.
the
I
hospital.
know those.
Yeah.
I know what
So
I have a
use-
feeling I know what
So I tend to use these, and I throw away a lot of them, but I noticed that when I was, in the beginning I was wearing gloves. Now the gloves are not fitting tight on my hands. They're like for all sizes, and they're too big and too loose. So I'm not using gloves anymore. I tend to have paper and fabric also that I use. I have to have scissors, and then I use a variety of pastels. I have some here, but that's not all of them. I have Sennelier I use, Unison, I use Rembrandt, those are the ones I first started with. And the Rembrandt is a soft pastel, but it's the hardest of the soft pastels. But that's one of my favorites. I like a lot of bright colors. I have made artwork with like pinks and grays and lighter colors, but I really like the bold colors when I'm working. This is some of my artwork that I've done years ago. And the eyes always draw people to my artwork. Like, look at those eyes. And I think about this one, when I think about my sister, because she like rolls her eyes a lot when I say something. And, or look up, you know, I do one of those look up in the skies, like when I'm talking to my students and they're not cooperating, things like that. But this is just a few pieces. And in these pieces, I did incorporate some paper. And I incorporated paper over here too, as well as the pastels. Okay, so I did bring a few pieces that I want you to look at and see if they evoke any emotion in you. And I never really thought a lot about the emotion until I got home one day and I got this, it chokes me up now when I think about it. This one lady, she sent me a text and she said the artwork that she purchased reminded her of her son that passed. And so she said, I just had to get that piece once I saw it. And then another man with his, I don't know if it was a wife or girlfriend, but he came up and he said the artwork brought him to tears. And I'm like, really? I mean, it really evoked that kind of emotion. And these are just strangers coming up telling me about the artwork that they actually chose. And so look at these few pieces. And this is a few that I did. I started doing smaller pieces because I noticed that some people, they wanted to purchase the artwork, but they didn't really want to pay the amount. So I started making smaller pieces for those. But I had one of my teacher friends say, well, can't you make me one about the size of a postcard? You know what I'm talking about, right? Okay, and so just take a look and see if they evoke any emotion. Maybe they might in you, maybe they may not, and that's okay too.
This one on the right just gives me a feeling of protected friendship, you know, whether it's familial or not familial, but a sense of close bonding there. And it's, this one on the far right.
This one?
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, like they're.
And I noticed too, when I do artwork, I do like single, double, triple, and then quadruple people. And the ones is the triple, people tend to like the most. They think of like three sisters
Yeah.
or something like that. They like the threes. But when I sit down to do my work, I don't plan, like some people plan their art. And I was watching portrait artists Prime video, I don't know if you've seen those, and how some artists, they actually plan their work and sketch everything out. I don't do that. I sit down, I start drawing, and then I pick up a color, and then I maybe pick up another color, and I'm not, you can see, I don't like to match. I don't like to match. I like to have like the same colors, but I like mixing patterns, like in this particular one.
Yeah, I love
The
that.
colors are there, but the patterns are different. Because.
Yeah.
Now Felicia said, well, you do like to match. You, she says you match in the front of your house, it's white with a red door and black, and you have, then when you go in the backyard, I see where you don't match because I have a perennial bed with all different types of flowers and colors. But I just like mixing patterns. I remember when I bought some furniture and I had my aunt come over and say, oh, look at my new furniture. And she said, this doesn't match. I said, Well, it's all the same colors. I had an interior decorator from Ethan Allen back in the day. You know, she helped me, and I think it matches. She said, no, it does not. But when I use a lot of bold colors, and I do some blending, especially in the neck. And so when I blend, I have these on, and I don't mind taking colors that most people may not put together. That's my whole thing. Oh, they're not gonna put this color. They may not put a teal and a purple together, but it looks nice once you mix it up like that. So I'm always taking whatever color I pick up and start working with, and I just grab another color and I just make it work. Yes.
Gail, do you start with the eyes, or is that the last thing you do, depending on which direction they're looking?
I always start with the face. I start with the face, but I start with the outline of the face, and then I come to the eyes, and then I do the lips. But when I actually start doing the actual color, I just start in the face, and the eyes are usually at the end after I get all the colors.
Yeah.
I looked at these online a little bit before, you know, and I had, so I would, and I actually, right, I saw your PowerPoint. So I think what I was feeling was, well, allow for diversity. I think that's what I was feeling. And I haven't actually, I don't know if I've seen any faces quite like these. You know what I mean? But it's not in the conventional view of skin color.
Right.
And I don't know if that was part of your motivation or not, I really don't. But I just kind of enjoyed that. I enjoyed that it wasn't the conventional view.
Right, and when I thought about this, when I started doing like the colors, I said, I know a lot of people say like, I'm colorblind, I don't see color, but I wanted people to see color. And so that was my inspiration to make the faces colorful like that.
When you're doing the groups of people or even individuals, do you have someone in mind when you're drawing them, or just out of your imagination?
You know, I look at people and that gives me my inspiration. Like I saw this lady at the artist fair and I said, you know what, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna do something abstract. She had a big braided bun up here and then she had curls coming down. So I keep things like that in mind when I sit down. But like I said, I don't plan, I just do. Yeah. So you want to take some colors with your pads and do some blending, and take colors that you normally wouldn't use. If you work with a lot of blues, don't take blue this time.
Does anybody need any? They're over here. And there's more paper back there. Here, Steph. Oh, all right, let me take a couple then. Thank you. You're welcome.
No?
Remind me a little bit of mine. Yes. And by the way, I walk in.
I saw that. Saw the banner.
That's what I say to them. What they don't say to get important.
Sally, what do you know how to do? Pick it up and start moving it around.
Well, I'm following what she said. She didn't think about it. She just started. I had somebody in mind, but it's not turning out that way, so I'm not worried about it, right?
Watercolor wash. It's simple. Watercolor wash is simple as watercolor. And it's a mess. It's not transparent. And you can correct it, you can change the word. There are participants who do, and there are participants who
I'm not gonna participate, pastels, but it's just not my
Would anyone like to try these? Put like 3 on.
I have found some of these, but they're so tiny in my
You can find this yes.
That's where I found them and they were.
I've seen them at pharmacies, but they have different sizes. Full
yeah.
finger ones or just finger tip ones. Cookies and if you have like cuts on your fingers.
This, I've used it when I had like winter. I put them on with some, yeah.
No, I think it's good to cover the hands.
Yeah.
This is kind of where I was at home before I went.
You were just always people, right? You're always thinking.
You want one of these? Yeah.
They were pretty good for blending.
I'm gonna ask the difficult question. Should I bother? That's not doing anything.
Be a little dirty. Who are those though?
Gave me the sleeve off your shirt. Very brave of you.
I know you're very sure.
One of the best blending things to me.
Not the best.
It's either that
I'm gonna
or
stop it
follow
now
it.
and then we'll pick it up again.
Not pictures. I got rid of her.
Now